well and dance out of it. Landing deductions are so heavy now that gymnasts have had to make that choice.
Very, very businesslike job there. Another look at the American vaulting. Superb apparatus for them. Mackenzie Kukwato scored 15. And a few more marks on the 15s and it could be very interesting indeed. And this is Sacramento 15-6.
That is a massive score. She's got a start value of 6.3, so it's out of 16.3. So that is a big bonus.
And look at that total, 175.196. The USA are ahead of China. Romania in third at the moment.
So now the big question is,
looking back at the second American vaulting, we know the total. Just look back on this performance from Alexandra RAISMAN.
I was going to say the big question is, can 15.066 for Alexandra RAISMAN, can the Russian team outperform these American vaults on the floor? Difficult on the floor to get those sort of scores.
Well, I would say that 15, the Americans averaging over 15, it's going to be very, very difficult. 15.2 was their average. And we've seen 2 in the mid-14s. That's 14.8 for Ksenia Afanasieva.
Well, these scores are going up as well. That's the highest score we've seen on floor all day. And this is their very best gymnast on floor. And she'll need to be at this moment.
Aliya Mustafina, 16 years old, beautifully elegant on beam, and I'm sure we can expect the same on floor.
Double Arabian into the jump. Super triple spin. Super work, she lifted and floated. Just like a ballerina, and a great tumbler. Lot on these shoulders. Lifts high, spins, oh, and at the final step.
So, she lost her composure right at the very end. The Russians, a real brave attempt on floor. The Americans, well, I know, and so do the Russians.
Well, they needed every tenth, and she gave one away on that very last tumble. She looked like she was feeling the stress, didn't she?
Lots and lots of pressure. Last to perform. Americans 175.196.
I think it looks to me like she needs a score of over 14.468. They're showing us here about a 14.5, something like that. And it was a little bit untidy as well, wasn't it? Probably a 0.3 deduction on that last tumble, but they're all looking at the scoreboard.
I think the Americans think they've got it. We'll soon get verification one way or the other, but Mustafina just succumbing a little bit. What a beautiful start though.
Yeah, so many of her tumbles were completely under control.
Attention to the very end, waiting on the last score.
Just like a competition should be, both camps under tension. USA top of the leaderboard, Russia waiting for this final score. They're showing us the gap of 14.465, so can she score more than that?
Right to the very last tenth of a mark, it's a thriller. And both camps are looking as if they've done the job, but we still don't know. A little bit of tension. Oh look, we're on television. So it's Russia chasing the United States. China in second at the moment, but we're still waiting for that last Russian score. And the cheers have gone up. Russia have done it for the last performance. Shaving ahead, 14.666 and 1.75.397. They have beaten the United States in the second. China are in third. What a fantastic climax of this competition.
Absolutely superb. You couldn't have written it better. And the Russian team have looked such a promising team.
Confirmation. 1.75.397. Russia ahead of the United States. China looking a little bit dejected to finish third. But what a thriller of a team competition. Well then, would you have said that would have been the result, Christine? I mean, Russia looked pretty good. They got a young team and a big rebuilt, rejuvenated. Did you think they could pull it off?
Well, they came in as the team.
Confirmation then, Russia over the United States. China take the bronze, Romania in fourth, Japan fifth, Australia sixth, Great Britain in seventh, and Italy down in eighth. Thrilling competition. Christine, you were saying that Russia looked as if they could do it?
They did look as if they could do it, and but then they made a few mistakes. They went to pieces on bars, really. They left it much more difficult than it should have been.
Look at this anxious moment, and now they can relax, and now, well, relax. Now they can give vent to their emotions. They are so delighted. The Russians are back. Great scenes of jubilation and celebration. And it's been a long process, Christine, to get back to that level, hasn't it?
Oh yes, it has. This generation have looked very promising. They've been great at junior level. We've seen Mustafina on the competition circuit since she was about 12, 13. She's from Moscow club, which travel a lot. So she's had a lot of exposure, and she's such an accomplished, exciting gymnast.
Wonderful to see that. Great Britain there in seventh place. They qualified in fifth. We didn't see a lot of them, Chris, but will they be pleased?
Yeah, they were very disappointed, really. They started on beam and went to pieces a little bit on beam. But they did very well, very good floors, very good vault. Yeah, good bars. It just was beam, really, and it's always the difficult piece to start with.
And what about Romania? Bellu's got his work cut out, hasn't he, to get them back on the roster?
He has. They're much better than when we saw them earlier in the year at the Europeans. Much better than then. But there's still plenty of work to do to fight with these real big nations.
Well, it was a fantastic competition. Right until the last performance. It was such a nail-biter. Terrific stuff.
And the American team not hiding their disappointment at having been pipped at the post there. Mind you, the Russian team not hiding their jubilation either.
Absolutely. 2/10 in it. And some great performances under pressure.
That was the tumble that I thought was so good. She opened out of the 2.5, floated into the full twisting front.
Mustafina's got such grace, isn't she? Such elegance. These faces, look at this. Wonderful stuff. You couldn't write a script better than this. But a long road back, and they are now the best in the world. wait for the medal ceremony. And while they wait to take their place on the rostrum, there's a display of sports acrobatic. Men's 4 in the arena. All that emotion now. Just has time to settle down before they get on the rostrum, and it'll start welling up again, just like you have, Christine. Wonderful though to see it. I mean, part of me says Russia